Good morning. Jay Price with the Super Supporter. Thanks, Jay Price. Thanks for always supporting us, Jay. Hopefully the what you get in return is worth the support you give. So hopefully you enjoy it. Thanks for everything. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Breadman, Kevin, Adam, all the familiar faces. Freddie, Dino, Ernesto, Lido, Jose, Rama, MCJ. Who did I miss? I can't say. Way deep inside. Great name. Go Birds. Yeah, the Birds look good, man. Fuck. I don't like to say it, but yeah, I think the Giants are on their. I think the Giants are on their yearly slide. I think the Giants lose out, to be honest. What's up, Chef Adolfo? Good morning, guys. A-Tech, Johnny. I think the Giants are on their. I think the Giants lose out. I don't have high hopes for that team now. They've lost basically their entire team. Morning, guys. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving weekend. It felt it's nice. I'm very motivated today. It felt nice. Nice break. Hopefully everyone feels the same. Nice break from the market. Nice mental reset. We can come into this week with fueled up, ready to go, ready to see what happens. Ready to strike. Get those opportunities. Too short? Yeah, Danny. I know. Maybe a few more days would have been nice, right? A lot of Philly fans. Hey, I'm not that type of guy that can't admit when a team's playing pretty good, and Philly definitely is a dangerous looking team. I need to move to Abu Dhabi, GB. All right, guys. Well, once again, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Welcome to another day, Monday morning, November 28th. We're getting closer and closer to end of year. It's crazy. It's crazy that we've been doing this for a whole year now. All right. So today, wait a few minutes until everyone starts to creep in. 2 more minutes. What else sort of happened? Well, we got a World Cup coming up tomorrow, USA. So go USA tomorrow. That's a big game. I might do one more thing, Darlock, in the chart Discord today. That'll be the last of it. I might do something for the people in that chart Discord, but that's probably about it, my friend. Yeah, Puerto Rico or Abu Dhabi, one of the two. Moving December 30th. December 30th, I'll be heading out in Brickell, Miami. Very excited. All right, guys. Well, so what we have this morning, let's get started. So just a little recap of what's going on this morning. There's a lot of concerns over that China lockdown, the COVID lockdown stuff that's going on, those protests over in China. It definitely doesn't look like a great environment over there, to say the least. Some crazy things that I see going on. I mean, I'm obviously looking from a media standpoint, seeing what they post. So, I can't really speak to it too 100% accurately, but what I see, it does not look very good. And that is the biggest part is at an Apple manufacturing plant. And that is not good for Apple. So if Apple, continues to pull back off that news today, if Apple continues to get affected by that, if their manufacturing gets affected, if they can't produce, the amount of iPhones that were expected, right? That is definitely something to pay attention to in the short term for Apple, right? That could definitely affect Apple. And if Apple moves lower, you guys know it's going to affect the market, right? Apple's the biggest part of the market, arguably, probably is the biggest part of the market. And if that gets affected, then yes, right? That is definitely a bad thing in the short term. So that is what we're getting hit with this morning. That is why you're seeing the downside across everything pretty much. Apple is sort of charging that way lower. Every other tech stock down as well pretty much. The only stock that is up this morning on the tech side is Shopify. And I don't really know if I can trust Shopify to continue that upside today. If the market is weak today, if we see more downside today, step in. I don't see a situation where Shopify holds up in that scenario, right? Shopify is affected by the overall market, and Shopify should not hold up in an environment where the whole market's moving lower, especially off of Apple moving lower. So just let's keep that in mind today. We have 2 big things this morning. We have the China COVID lockdown stuff, the policy that they're doing over there, Apple getting affected because of their manufacturing, and then the Black Friday numbers that were reported by Shopify is causing the stock to move higher. Yeah, I was sort of watching Amazon as well. I'm going to keep an eye on that. But keep an eye on those 2 sort of events going on. I would pay attention to the overall market because my first thought here is that the Shopify upside is not really trustworthy, just because of the overall market weakness. So I'm going to definitely be cautious of that Shopify upside this morning. So that's my little read this morning. The other read that I can see is that the oil futures are breaking down. Oil futures broke down a pretty important level today in the pre-market. So you are seeing some weakness on the energy sector. The energy sector is moving lower due to some oil futures breaking down. Again, like I say all the time on the stream, I don't really read into the oil sector. So I'm not sure what caused that oil future downside. There must have been something. Let me go ahead and take a quick look to see if I can get a quick read on it. If you guys know if there was any type of oil news this morning, let me know in the chat. But all I can tell you is that oil futures are weak this morning. They're down 3%, and that is causing downside on the XLE, XOM, CVX, all those energy names. You are seeing some downside there as well. All right. So that's the little morning recap of what I've seen so far. We'll start to look through some other stuff on the stream, as always, and get a good picture of what to watch out for this week. So once again, thank you guys for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. Press that like button if you want. Subscribe if you're new. And, I didn't change the date up there. Oh, I didn't change. Hold on, guys. Let me change this real quick. I downloaded it, but I didn't put it in there. There it is. All right. So there's our schedule for today. You got futures, economic earnings calendar as always. Let's go ahead and pull up that economic calendar. China growing demand and OPEC meeting next week. Okay. Thank you, guys. See that? Teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you, guys. So, yeah, just pay attention to that oil weakness there. All right, so let's pull up the economic calendar here. We do actually have a pretty busy economic calendar this week, so we have to pay attention to this. Today at noon, we have Bullard speaking. We also have John Williams speaking, so 2 Fed presidents speaking today at noon. I don't expect too much off that in direct reaction on the market, but just pay attention to that. Tomorrow, we have home price index, and we have consumer confidence index. So we'll get a good picture there around 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow. Home price index, consumer confidence index. Wednesday, this is important, right? That ADP employment report is definitely an important one to watch. So that's 8:15 Wednesday morning. So that we'll be here in the live stream for that. Real GDP, gross domestic product, GDP, guys. That's also very important. That's at 8:30 on Wednesday. PMI, Chicago PMI, job openings, job quits. You guys know the job market is very important for this market right now. So job openings, job quits, very important there as well. 10 a.m. on Wednesday. So a pretty big day on Wednesday. You have a little bit of comments from Jerome Powell at 1:30 on Wednesday. It's not like an FOMC meeting or anything like that, but he will be speaking, and you guys know when Jerome Powell opens his mouth, the market can react off of it. So that's 1:30 on Wednesday. So Wednesday, pretty big day on the economic side. Be careful of it, right? You guys know what to do if you come to the streams. Be careful during big economic days, right? There's volatility that you can't predict. So just be careful there. Thursday, another very big one here. Jobless claims, PCE price index, real disposable income, real consumer spending. So we're going to get a good picture there on Thursday. ISM manufacturing, construction spending. This is interesting. Motor vehicle sales. I'd be interested in that. But Thursday, another big one. Friday, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, labor force participation. So this is definitely a nice week for some economic news. We'll get a picture on the jobs market. We'll get a picture on consumer spending, consumer confidence. This is definitely going to be a pretty major economic news week here. So let's just pay attention to that. All right. If you guys, I don't know if you guys are, this is like the first time, if anyone's sort of in the, they like to watch the exotic car market. I don't know how many of you guys are car people. I'm a major car guy. The exotic car market's starting to slip. So that's interesting, right? This is the first time in a long time that you're starting to see some cracks in that exotic car market. So that's an interesting read. I don't really know, the direct effects of all that, but this is the first time in a long time you're starting to see that exotic car market slip. The exotic car market has been crazy hot, has held up, but you're starting to see these prices come down. So it doesn't really mean anything to the market. I just thought I'd bring it up. All right. Earnings calendar. Let's see what we got on the earnings calendar this week. Let's pull that up. All right, here we go. Here's the earnings calendar. So this morning, I think you had PDD, Pinduoduo. I'm not sure if that's on here, but I'm pretty sure you got that this morning. Major write-downs, yeah. So tomorrow before open, nothing big tomorrow after close, you got CrowdStrike, Intuit. That's really the big ones there. Wednesday, XPeng, Petco. Nothing really crazy here. Snowflake Wednesday afternoon. Snowflake's pretty big. CRM, Salesforce, that's a big one as well. Some banks here. BMO Harris. Nothing crazy. Dollar General. Ulta. Ulta's a pretty big one. Just to get, they're usually a pretty big mover on earnings, so watch out for that. Marvell, UiPath. So nothing big here, guys. Nothing crazy. But you do have some sprinkled in. CrowdStrike, Snowflake, Salesforce. Keep an eye on some of those. But pretty slow on that side. So big on the economic side. Big on the economic calendar. Make sure to watch out for that this week. All right, so Apple China concerns. We'll take a look at Apple. We'll talk a little bit about that. Tesla, some key levels to watch on Tesla. That's moving lower today, obviously, with the rest of the market. TSM, this 83.50 rejection is definitely something to watch. This was a big rejection level that we continue to reject, and we slipped lower under an uptrend on Friday. Was Friday? What day? Yeah, Friday. So watch out for Cracker Barrel. Yeah. Watch TSM, 83.50. Shopify, we'll take a look at that with that upside this morning off the Black Friday sales numbers. Home Depot, I believe, is nearing a rejection point, so I'm pretty much all out of Home Depot swing. I think I have one contract left. I'll probably sell it today. Microsoft, 250, that's a big rejection level. And then Boeing, big break and retest on Boeing to the upside. Actually looked really good. Obviously, with the Dow strength we've been seeing, Boeing has been holding up. We'll go in and out of some other stocks as well as we have time. Enphase, Winston, yeah, I'm still in that short on Enphase. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Welcome, guys, again. Let's do it. NASDAQ. So big level here on NASDAQ, guys. Pretty easy read here, to be quite honest, in my opinion, today. Here's the big level you got to watch on the NASDAQ. It is 11,720. I think this is a pretty relatively easy read here. And this should give you an insight of what the next move is today. So 11,720 is this green area that I have marked out. Now, this is where we found support from Tuesday into Wednesday, right? This was a little shelf right around this 11,720. You even found a little support back around this 11,750. You could also put that 750 on your screen. But this whole area really is a area that you wanted to see hold on the market. Anywhere between 750 and 720. This was this previous support that came in on Wednesday of last week. It was a support that came in, Tuesday into Wednesday. You guys can see right here, we found support here, found some support here at 750. And today, you can clearly see we broke below it and we turned it into a rejection point. So, in my opinion, right, if the NASDAQ cannot get back above at least 720, maybe even 750, right, that is a big watch. If we cannot get above these levels, then there's no reason to be looking for upside, right? It's very clear here. This has to turn back into support. We've turned this support here from Tuesday into Wednesday into a very clear rejection level this morning. If this stays as a rejection level, I would expect downside, right? There's just no reason to think that there would be upside if we continue to do something like this, right? If we continue today to see these rejections step in every time, then I would expect there to be a downside move, right? So that is a very clear support into rejection in the short term, right? From Tuesday to Wednesday, very clear support has now turned into a rejection. That is what you have to watch today. If you see another rejection step in here around this 720 to 750 level, then we should, in theory, right, if you just focus on technicals, we should retest 11,530, right? That is where we should move back down to. And the reason I say that is because if I zoom out here, right, and we look at what's happened over the last 2 weeks, right, this probably should be where we move down to, right here, this 11,530. That would be the next test. You did get that downtrend break, right? You did get that break. You got some of that squeeze, but we have started to get we got pretty weak up here around 11.9, which is, I believe, right, which I'll show you in a second on the ES. This rejection is sort of based more on the ES than anything else. And I'll show you where the ES rejected. It was pretty damn clear. So you started to get a rejection here, right? You started to move lower. Friday, you got that slippage. Today, you're breaking under this support here. If we cannot get back above 750, right? If we can't do something like this, get back above this level, start to hold support here and do that, right? If we can't see that support get back in, then I would expect ultimately a move back down to 530, right? That's my sort of read right now on this Monday morning. So 11,720, 11,750, that's right now you can clearly see it's a rejection area. If we can't get back above, I would expect us to slip down to these lows. And at these lows, things can get even more interesting because you can clearly see what happened under these lows here, under 530, right? If we lose 530, then you're in a slippery area here on the NASDAQ. So 530, big level to watch here on the downside. Watch to see if we can push above 750. If you don't see any type of push here above 750, I would think the path of least resistance is down towards 530. That's sort of how I read this right now. And I will, obviously keep you guys updated in the Discord if you're there. But that is how I read this right now. 11,720, 11,750, reject there, 11,530. You get back above, maybe there's a chance of more upside. But right now, definitely seeing a little bit of weakness. Let me pop on the daily SMAs just to get a picture of where those are at. So you got that 100 SMA above on the NASDAQ. That's where we rejected previously. And then you got the 20 and 50 down here, which is pretty damn close to that 530. But the reason I pop on the EMAs or the SMAs is because of the ES here. So ES, right? If I zoom in here on the ES, on the hourly chart, let me pop off let me just keep the 200 on for now. There's that. All right. So here's the ES, right? And we can clearly see what happened here. We got a previous high around that 40.50 on the ES. We had that downtrend that sort of broke here, right? Downtrend, however you want to draw it. We broke that downtrending market. We pushed to the upside on Tuesday of last week. We got that squeeze to the upside. Now, where did we? It's pretty much perfect, right? Where did we reject in the ES? 40.50, 40.50, right? Perfect double top on the ES. And this is where I said, when I said the NASDAQ sort of started to stall here at around 11.9, well, that's because the ES double topped, right? If the ES double tops and rejects and it starts to move lower, right, you're going to see the NASDAQ react to that as well. The NASDAQ is not going to move straight up when the ES is moving lower and rejecting a double top. So that's why I always say watch both of these indices, because this was your sort of level to watch here on the ES. You can see previous high, double top rejection, 40.50. Now, not only 40.50, but the 200 SMA, guys. This is a very big SMA. If I go out to the 4 hour or if I go out to the daily, right, this is where the NAS or the ES previously made its new leg lower back in August, right? This cannot be misunderstood, or it can't be overlooked, right? This 200 SMA is the exact level that the ES caused, that the ES started its new leg lower back in August. And we are sitting right back at that 200 SMA again. And we're seeing some rejection off that level today. So, I'm not saying that, we're going the next leg lower, which we possibly could be, but you have to be aware of that, right? If you're in this market, you have to understand that we are sitting at the 200 SMA on the ES, and we could see that rejection come in. So you can see that's the 200 SMA rejection. That's why we're moving lower, partially due to it on the technical standpoint. If we go to the 15-minute chart, let me show you what's going on this morning, because this is pretty clean as well. So you guys can see, right? We had that previous support step in around 4,000 or 4,005 on the ES, right? You can see right here all this support and this double bottom support, right? That is very clear right there. 4,005. You had a support and you had the double bottom support intraday on Wednesday of last week. Now, let me just zoom in here and show you what's going on. It is very clear. Look at what the ES just did. The ES has pushed up. It has pushed back into the 4,005 double bottom, and it has rejected, right? That is a break and retest. That is a bearish setup. If the ES cannot get back above 4,005, you should expect downside, right? No doubt about it, All right, there's no reason to be bullish here in the short term if you are below 4,005. You have to get above 4,005. That is, just make it easy on yourself. Do not look for upside unless we are above 4,005, unless we have turned 4,005 back into a support and we start to see some higher lows get built. Do not look for upside. It's as easy as that, right? Because why would you look for upside when a previous demand hold back here on Wednesday of last week has turned into a clear rejection level, okay? So please understand that. Please understand that weakness that's coming in. That is a very major rejection that's coming in this morning, and it's very clear, right? It is very clear. You can clearly see it there, all right? Very textbook rejection there. So next level to watch to the downside is going to be where we found support here in the pre-market. That is right here. Previous support or previous rejection from Friday of last week, and that is where we found some support step in here today. So just because, right, and right, you have to understand, just because I said there's no reason for upside does not mean that we're just going to go down 6% today and there's going to be money to make on shorts, right? That's not what that means. What it means is that you have to be aware of that level that level as a rejection point and shouldn't be looking for upside in that scenario. But you also have to be careful of, as a short, if you're a short seller, you also need to be careful of this support here around 39.90. You have this previous high at 39.90, and you have this support that came in here in the pre-market. So if you go short here, right, you have to be aware of the possible double bottom here around 39.90, right? That is a possibility. You can't just, short blindly and not pay attention to the levels to the downside. So right here, 39.90, previous high, watch to see if that holds. That would be your level to watch to the downside today, 39.90 here on the ES. Where we found some support here in the pre-market is the exact level. If I zoom on over, is this exact high right here. Okay? So that's what I would watch today, 39.90 and 4,005. You're in that little channel. See which side we break, right? We could break either side. You have to either see this, right? Or you have to see something like this, right? That's what you have to look for. In here, that's your question mark, right? That's your question mark. Inside this channel, that's your question mark. In here, if you get a break to the upside, hold 4,005. Or if you get a flush to the downside, turn this rejection point into a rejection again at 39.90. Then you have your nice downside play. Inside this little channel, that's your question mark on the ES, okay? So watch that. Dow Jones. So Dow Jones has been very strong, but you can start to see this starting to break down. And this up here around 34,250 is a very important level. Let me show you why. So 4-hour chart on the Dow Jones. All right, this high from back in, this is back in August, right? This is where that leg lower started. Remember what I talked about on the ES? This high back in August where that leg lower started, the exact high of that level on the Dow, the high of this candle is 34,246. 34,246 is the exact high of that August candle before we made that leg lower. Now, if I zoom in and I look at 34,246, right, you can see we're starting to see some rejections right at that level. 34,246, we broke below it, we came back up, we found some rejection here, we're now making a lower low, right? So we're starting to lose a little bit of steam here on the Dow. So 34,246, that's your previous August high. That is a double top here on the daily chart and on the 4-hour. Let me zoom in. So right there, you can see the Dow, 34,246. You sort of double topped at that level. So let's be careful of that. Now, just because we double top there, we can't ignore the strength that has been on the Dow, right, in the previous, in the recent trend. So what I would look for is probably this low right here, 34,000, right around this general area, 34,000. Let me go ahead and pop that on. Get a little zone here. So right in this 34,000, right? Order your monthly packs. Sent you an email. All right, I'll check it out. Sorry, you sent me an email. Shoot me a DM on Instagram if you have it as well, just so I know exactly who it is. But yeah, I'll check my email. So you guys can see right here, the Dow, 34,000. You have this previous high here, right? You have this previous high here. You have this previous high here. And you have this support that came in right there. So 34,000, that is the level that I think you need to break for a continuation to the downside. You could see a little pullback to 34, and you could hold this level still, right? So 34,000, that's the level to watch here on the Dow to the downside. Previous high, previous high, previous high, into support. If I go down to the 30-minute, you can clearly see that if we break 34,000, that would be your next downside move, right? That would be your next level you need to break on the Dow is 34,000, okay? 34,012, 34,000, right in that psychological area. We just can't discount the Dow strength, so just be careful of that, right? The Dow has been very strong. Russell. The Russell is rejecting, looks sort of like a head and shoulder, right? But not really. It's pretty dirty. But yeah, previous rejection here, 1870, very clear. Previous rejection, into support, into rejection, into rejection, into rejection once again. Level to watch to the downside, 1840 on the Russell. What else is the Russell doing? It's rejecting the 200 SMA, right? Very clear. Could this be a Russell short off the 200 SMA, right? 200 SMA, 200 SMA. Watch out for that. All right, guys, so that's the futures. I hope that makes sense. If you want to get these levels on a daily basis, check it out down below. It says free charts, free technicals. So once again, 11,720, 11,750 on the NASDAQ, 4,005 on the ES, and on the Dow, just look to see if you hold that 34,000. That's your next big level to watch to the downside. All right, guys. So that's the futures. Let's go Apple. Pinched result and good move. Yeah, good note, J Price. I'll pop that up. Let's see. Where's that 100 on the... 100's over here. Yeah, so you're right in between them both. You actually you have been in between them both. All right, you've been between the 200 and the 100 on the ES. 100's at 39.25, 200's at 4,050. So yeah, good note. I mean, yeah, if you've held the 100 in the past, right? You've held the 100 pretty strong here. So if you do come back to the 100, we can't just ignore that, right? We can't just be like, oh, we're gonna break it, right? You gotta watch out for that 100 down there for sure. All right, Apple. So Apple is leading the downside today, and that is never a good thing, right? Because Apple is pretty much the biggest weight on the market, and we can see here on the 5-minute in the pre-market today, right? You can see that downside that came in. This was off that that concern about their manufacturing plant in China. If we go to the hourly chart, this is the level I'm watching, 145. This previous low, the exact low of this candle here is 144.37. That's the exact low, 144.37. I'll put a line there to be exact. The exact low of this Friday low here is 144.37. So we should watch that level, guys. If we break this 144.37 low, then I would expect us to give back some of this downside move, right? Saqib, you joined it, you joined it one day ago, and it was a long weekend. I wouldn't expect there to be much talking, and you're not going to understand it if you just joined it. So I would give it a few days to try to, understand what's going on. All right, 144.37, 144 area. Watch that previous low. If you break that low, then look to see if you sort of flush into this level here. You guys can see a big upside move on Apple. You have this previous low. You flush that. I think that causes downside and could affect the overall market, right? If Apple breaks down today, it will definitely drag the market down with it. So keep an eye on that Apple 144 area. That's a very big area here this morning. And you guys can see right here, you're sort of sitting right at it today. You're sitting right at it. Right, you're sitting right at that level. So watch out for that level on Apple. That's big. Tesla. So if we go to the 30-minute chart on Tesla, let's go hourly. This is what I'm watching here on Tesla today. Okay. Tesla, you guys can see right here, support 177. You can see that is the level I'm watching. On Tesla. You can see the support that stepped in here. You can see the support that stepped in here. And you can see we're sort of trying to hold that 177 area on Tesla again. So in my opinion, if we hold 177, there is a possibility of a potential bounce there. If we break 177, then I think you're moving lower, right? 177, it's that general area here on Tesla. You guys can see right here, all this support here, all this support here. That is what I would watch out for. However, this looks very tough. This looks very, very tough up here. 187, right? That does not look like a level that I really want to mess with on Tesla. You guys can see up here, support. There's another support that comes in here. And then look at this rejection that came right here. Look at the rejection that came in this area. So watch all this. You got a rejection there last week. If you do get another upside push, you have to be careful of it up here on Tesla. That is definitely a level to watch out for. 187. And then to the downside, 177. All right? That's what I would watch on Tesla today. TSM. So this is pretty aggressive on TSM. Make sure to watch this here. You guys can see this is a very clean bear flag on TSM. You have uptrending lows and a flat top. That is a bear flag. All right? So this is a pretty aggressive bear flag breakdown on TSM. And if this starts to get, sort of slippery here, this could be a very nice trade. So I would watch TSM here. I would watch to see if there's any downside after this bear flag breakdown. In the pre-market, we got that big slip underneath that flag. You have a low, a low, a low, a low, and a low, and you slipped under it this morning. This should be a must-watch today, in my opinion. You can see all the rejections that came in up here. Rejection, 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 and another rejection. This looks pretty nice. Yeah, I'll update that sheet right now for you guys. All right, 1128. If you guys put something in the ticker thing, you're going to have to redo it. Just to let you know. All right. Ticker form's good. All right, so back to TSM, right? TSM, watch that bear flag breakdown. Definitely a big watch here. I would watch this level at 79.50, and I would watch this level at 78.25 area, right in there. I don't expect... Renard, I don't think I would expect the chip sectors to get the chip sector as a whole to get affected by TSM. I think there could be some short-term downside on TSM alone because of the upside that it saw off of the Warren Buffett, purchase, right? Off that big move on the where Warren Buffett took a stake in it. I think that's a little bit crazy. Like, this move has been a little bit crazy. And if we do see a little bit of give back of that move, I don't think that would be a weakness on the tech sector or the chip sector. I think that would just be an individual stock that needs to maybe cool off a little bit here. That's why I'm sort of interested in the downside because of this major move. This was all due to Warren Buffett's stake that he took. I think it was here on Tuesday. I think it was after hours here on Monday into Tuesday. So that's my thought right now, but we'll see. All right, we'll see, Renard. I don't know. But yeah, definitely watching this. It does, just because we broke this bear flag does not mean that it could, the China stuff definitely could affect chips as well. Just because we move lower, just because we broke this bear flag, I'm not saying TSM is going to be at 65 next week, guys. Just see if there is a weakness that steps in here. 79.50 and then 78.30 are your two levels to watch. All right. That is the right chart. that is the right chart. Shopify. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know if I trust this, but hey, I'll take it. This is good for me on my long-term portfolio, right? This is very nice for me, but do I trust this move on Shop today? Yes and no. It's a good catalyst for Shop. E-commerce is definitely, a good increase in e-com purchasing is definitely good for Shop. Shopify Form 6 filing show its merchants break Black Friday records with 3.36 billion in sales, right? So it's good, right? It's good for e-com. It's good for, Shopify as a whole. This is something that I've been, I've been bullish on in the stream for a very long time. I don't see how there's a world without e-commerce. I don't understand why Shopify is down so much. If the market perceives Shopify as the leader of e-commerce, and if e-commerce continues to be strong, which I don't see how it doesn't be strong, maybe there's times of slowness in a recession or something like that. But overall, right, in the next 10 years, I think e-commerce gets bigger and bigger. So that's why I've been bullish on Shopify as a whole in the long term, right? Not over the next week. Everyone everyone has a problem thinking past a week, thinking past the next expiration date. Over the next 5-10 years, I think this is a slam dunk, in my opinion. It's not financial advice, but e-commerce staying hot, right? And that's good for Shop. So I'm happy to see that, but do I trust this short-term move? Not really, to be honest. If the NASDAQ and if Apple breaks down today, if we get a downside day today, if the market, is down 1.5%, 2% end of day, I don't see how Shop holds up in that environment. Shopify definitely gets affected by market environment. Shopify is a little bit of a weak stock overall. So if we get downside on the market, I don't see Shop holding this move. If by some chance we do get upside on this market today, Shop should really outperform, right? If we do get an upside move on the NASDAQ today, Shopify should really outperform. So either way, I'm interested here. This is a very aggressive move to the upside, more than I would have expected. That's 8% to the upside. Just watch out for 40, guys. That's really what I would be more focused on than anything, is the $40 rejection area. This is clearly a very difficult level to get through, right? You could easily see this maybe push to 40. Maybe it, traps some more people in today, right? Maybe it goes up another 4%. Everyone gets super hyped on it into 40, and then this could easily give this back. So just watch out for 40. I don't think there's a play here to the upside, really. I mean, unless you're going to scalp this thing near 40, I just don't quite see the risk reward here at this point, unless you're already in. If you guys are already in a Shopify trade, I would highly consider taking some profits off at open. You just got a very nice premium increase on your position, and you could see this sort of slip with the market today. So just be aware of that. Shopify and Amazon are the only two tech stocks that are green on my watch list today. All right, so just pay attention to that. All right, Home Depot. Who's canceling Zelle? Really? I didn't see that, but I'll read more about it. All right, Home Depot. So you guys know we killed this Home Depot swing trade. This was sick. I am still in one contract, but I think today's probably the day where I get rid of it. This 330 rejection is probably going to be pretty tough up here. So Home Depot 330. And you guys can see we're starting to reject up here a little bit. So if you guys are in Home Depot, if you're long Home Depot, if it's a short-term options trade, then I would watch out for this 330 level. This could definitely be a rejection level to watch out for. All right. So 330 up here, big level to see if Home Depot can get through. If Home Depot gets through 330 and the Dow continues, then there is potentially more upside here. There is, but we got to get through 330 first. We got to get through it. So just be careful of that 330 area on Home Depot here on the 4-hour chart. You guys can see right there. Big rejection. Just be cautious of that level, all right? Could be a short play, right? Could be a short play. If you see the Dow start to break down, I got Home Depot back here around 307, 308. I got it on the 16th. Stock was at 308.17. All right, so just watch that 330 level on Home Depot. If the Dow shows weakness, if we get a downside move in the Dow, if that whole sector starts to break down, then watch Home Depot off that level. Microsoft, 250, it's still real, right? That 250 level is just a brick wall still. So you guys can see here, Microsoft, 250. I'd watch this. Previous rejection, previous rejection, previous rejection. Where did we do again today? Rejection, 250 over the last few days. So if the NASDAQ is weak today, Microsoft 250 rejection looks pretty damn nice. I would watch that, okay? I would watch the 250 on Microsoft. Another rejection that I like a lot is AMD. You guys can see right here, this is a pretty damn clean rejection on AMD. You can see we had the previous rejections around 77. You guys can see this top here at 77 here. You can see we double topped at 77 again. And that is a very, very clean rejection level to watch out for. 77, 77. If you break 72, then I think your short play is on, right? If you break 72, then I think your short play is on here. So I would look for the break of 72. Little break and retest of that level, because there is still a possibility that AMD holds 72, right? It has held it in the past, and it can hold it again. So just watch out for that. 72 to 77, that's the range I would watch. Did we look at NVIDIA? No, we didn't. NVIDIA needs to break 170. If NVIDIA can't get over 170, that is where NVIDIA will die off, right? You have to get over 170 on NVIDIA for more upside. You guys need to understand this is a textbook example of risk reward just not being on the upside, right? It's just not there. As good as maybe NVIDIA looks, as bullish as I am on NVIDIA in the long term, this is not a place to go long on NVIDIA. Why do I say that? You have to understand this. There is no margin to the upside before a potential major rejection, right? So in my eyes, as I walk into today, because I'm looking at the long-term analysis, which is so crucial to your short-term trading, knowing that you are pushing into a previous support, triple bottom support, knowing that we are pushing into a previous rejection point that was a previous triple bottom support, and knowing that we are only about 4% from that level again, of course, there is possible scalp trades to the upside, but I would be less motivated to look for longs, knowing that NVIDIA can potentially reject here at this top, right? So if you do want to go long NVIDIA, you got to wait for something, you got to wait for that margin to come back in your side. In my opinion, the margin is on the downside here, because if you do reject this 170, you could come back to this trend line. You could break this trend line. You can come back to these previous lows here at 134, right? There's your margin, right? Your risk is here, right? That this is your risk, and your reward is possibly down to those 130 lows, right? So you got to watch out for that stuff. You got to keep an eye on that. That's the big thing I'd watch here on NVIDIA. If NVIDIA is not over 170, I would be careful going long, because that is a very major rejection level. All right, last one I want to share with you guys here is Boeing, a really nice break and retest example. Just wanted to share it with you guys. Look at this daily chart. It's just a sexy break and retest. That's really all it is. That's how I wanted to end the stream, with this very nice break and retest. Look at this. Previous highs, right? Previous highs. You break above it. You curl on it, right? Look at this little curl here. You start to find that demand at the 171, 172, which was the previous highs here. You curl off of it, and you start to push to the upside. Textbook break and retest. Really nice trade setup. Look for this, right? This is very clean. Look at how it started to curl off that level. If you do get more Dow strength, Boeing could continue here. Absolutely. But a very nice break and retest on Boeing, and definitely something to watch out for. Jason, the best place to contact me is on the website. It says contact me directly. Do it there. Or you can send me a DM on Instagram. If you guys signed up for the Discord, you get an email from LaunchPass with an invite link. Okay, watch out for that. So Boeing 171, 172. That's what I would watch. Look at the break and retest. All right. Yeah, we'll go over to check out Amazon real quick. Let's check out Amazon with this Black Friday move that we're starting to get a little bit. So here's Amazon, guys. You can see here 92.40. You can see this previous rejection here, and you can see that support that came in, right? Previous rejection into support. So that 92.40 level, that's key, right? That is key. That is what I would watch. Major question. Stock market bull, that is not that's not a good question, man. I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm if you come to this stream, guys, you know I'm blunt and I'm honest. The fact that you are asking that question just sort of tells me that you just sort of want answers and you're not trying to learn for yourself. So I'm not the right guy to ask for that. I'm not the guy to ask that kind of question. I'm not going to give you an answer to that. Right? You need to learn. You need to educate yourself. So previous rejection into support 92.40. Look for that hold. Right? 92.40. You are starting to hold that level there off that previous rejection point that turned into demand. Look to see if that does continue. But again, watch that overall market. If the NASDAQ is weak today, you might see a little bit of weakness here on Amazon, but that is a nice demand hold on Amazon, 92.40. Okay. Let's jump into the ticker form. And then let's jump out of here. So we're looking at DE, CAT, AMD. We did AMD. We're looking at DE, CAT, and PDD. And then we got to get out of here. DE, CAT, and PDD. DE. So John Deere. So big upside on John Deere off earnings. And I think this is at all-time highs. Yes, it is. Holy crap. So John Deere all-time highs. Yeah. I mean, I don't see the upside here. I mean, yeah, I would wait for a pullback, guys. You got an earnings push into all-time highs. Are we really buying earnings into all-time highs? Right? Are we really doing that here? No. Let's wait for a pullback. Let's wait for something maybe to fill this gap. I would watch the strength, but are you going to chase John Deere at all-time highs after earnings? I would personally not. I would wait for a pullback to around 416.50. CAT, I would look for it just did it. But you can see that top that's coming in. I would look for a pullback hold of that 230 level again, right? If CAT can break this 230 level, then I would look for the next drop. But yeah, CAT, I would watch this 230 here, previous rejection. You are trading above it, so I would look for the move below 230, okay? And then what was the last one? Was it PDD? Yes, Pinduoduo. It had earnings this morning. You can see this big upside into 75. That is, it seems like I have that level here. It must be a level. Let me zoom out. I think I need more time. Yeah, look at that. So 75 is a major level on PDD, guys. Watch out. You can see 75 up here. Previous low. It's got to get above 75. Watch 75 here. It's got to get above it. All right, guys, I got to head out. I'm going to head over to the chat. If you guys want to hang out in there, check it out down below if you'd like. If you guys have problems signing up, it's really not that difficult, but if you are, I'll get to your emails today. Just email me. It's on the website. Down at the bottom, it says contact me directly. I'll get through the emails today if anyone's having some technical issues. So I'll hopefully help to clear those up today. All right. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. Thank you guys for being here. Press that like button if you guys could before you head out. Subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you have a successful trading day. Remember, as I like to say, it's Monday, right? It is Monday. It is our first day looking at what the market wants to do on the first day of the week, okay? So let's take it a little slow. Let's see what the market does today. Let's see what the price action looks like. Let's see which direction it looks like it wants to head. You don't need to press the buy button at 9:30 right as the market opens on a Monday morning. Take a little break, take a little rest, see what the market wants to do, get a feel for it, and then start to work out your trade, work out what you're looking for. It's 9:30 Monday morning, first trading day of the week. Take it easy, learn what the market wants to do, find that trend, and then strike. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.